Hi, Brian. How you doing today?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing great.
Good
Having fun up here in the Great White North.
Good to talk to you as always. Today we're going to talk about a subject that I think is one that you're wanting to address. You wrote an article, it's been maybe 6 or 8 months ago on some of the new audibles and how they can really help people out for canopy stuff. And I think maybe you got a little bit of fire back from that from some of the older timer types.
Or more conservative opinion. And, you know, they're not wrong. You know, if somebody says an audible is a crutch, are they right or wrong? Is an artificial horizon a crutch? You know, is a seatbelt a crutch? Is having a reserve parachute? They're for wusses. Well, real men don't need reserve parachutes. So the truth is, I think that there is some validity to the conservative opinion. They should learn altitude awareness first before you start involving these crutches. However, my experience is that if you put an audible on somebody where you say, here's the deal, this is giving you information about your altitude. This is not telling you what to do. This is not telling you when to turn your parachute to final approach or to base leg or whatever to start your hook turn. This is just saying the green light is on. You can jump out of the plane or not, right? It's sort of an open invitation and a cue to let you know where you are. But it is, as soon as we hand them to less experienced jumpers, you notice that pitfall that they will just use it like a good little soldier. They hear the beep and they turn. They do what they're told, and they don't appraise the situation fully, and that's a problem. Just like when the jumper lands in a different location than when they took off. If you use an Audible altimeter for that, you'd better have done your math correctly. Otherwise, it's not going to beep at the right height. So having the ability to appraise the situation and veto whether you should do it or not. So I think that's really the most important thing I can add to that article. But I still feel firmly that it is a wonderful tool. It allows people to know where they are and make altitude-appropriate turns, altitude-appropriate maneuvers. Turning low is not really the problem. It's the wrong kind of turn for that altitude. We know you can turn your parachute at just about any altitude. I can turn my parachute in the surf. So can you. I've seen you do it with no altitude loss at all. So to me, it's about knowing where you are. And that's where this technology can come in. It can be abused like anything else.
So, but you're obviously saying you think they have value in free fall and under canopy both.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, what in the article you wrote, and then maybe in your subsequent thinking, like how do you feel exactly should it be used under canopy? Like, let's say I get open now, and how do I program this? Some of them have like 3 tones usually.
Right,
under canopy. So how would you suggest to use it for under canopy?
Well, when I help somebody to figure out their numbers, the first thing I do is I say, well, how high do you want to be above the ground when you start your last turn? And your last turn might be a gentle 90-degree turn to final approach if you're a less experienced jumper. Your last turn to final might be the initiation of your 720. It doesn't matter, but you need to know what that height is and what that safe number is going to be. How much does your canopy naturally want to lose for that last turn? So that's the flatline beep that you program in as the very last thing you hear. The one before that is the turn to base leg. So that's the turn to your traverse across the wind line, where you can set your depth. You can tighten it up or loosen it up closer to the target or further away based on what you see. But at least if you know, for instance, I want to turn to final at 300 feet, and I want to turn to base leg at 600 feet. You get that beep for the 600-foot mark. You don't have to turn, but you know where you are. You know that within a few seconds, you're going to be getting that turn to final beep. It's just a heads-up thing, and it's one less altimeter check. Hopefully, it's 3 less altimeter checks. And it allows people to be looking at the target a little bit more intently, and more importantly, looking at you and me so they don't run us over. So heads up.
So, but would you agree that your eyes should always take precedent over that? Is that Is that
absolutely, yeah. First and foremost is the organic component, but to refine the organic component, instruments are very, very helpful. All right, so yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, Brian, we're gonna go visit you at bigairsportswithaz.com, and I think is your video out yet? Your packing video?
The packing video is it actually we took on a little bit more and we decided to add in a few other types of pack jobs, so we're dragging it out another month.
Okay.
I was thinking about probably even having some little bit about reserve container systems and how does that work. When somebody's getting into the sport, they've never seen the inside of a reserve, so as a rigger, I realized I would be missing part of the puzzle if I didn't tell that story. So,
all right. Well, we'll look for that when it gets released, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.
Someday. All right. See you, Dave. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, Brian's got something really cool that he has just started doing, and we're going to speak more intelligently about it in a month or so once we've gone through it. He has started. Have you ever heard of Phoenix Online, Stephen? It's like an online college kind of thing where you take your classes online.
Yeah.
Brian is kind of taking that idea and he's applying it to his canopy courses, which I think is so cool. It's like one of the coolest, most forward-thinking things in skydiving I've heard in quite a while. I think it's really, really neat what he's doing. So you sign up for one of his online canopy courses, and it is a 4-week course, one night a week for 2 hours. So it's 8 hours when it's all said and done. But instead of having to fly him in or you having to fly to one of his courses, you just sit at your computer. And it's a live course. You know, it's almost like a Skype kind of call, but he has the ability to share all his PowerPoint stuff with you. You can see the other participants. You can talk and ask questions. It's like a live teleconference almost online to do one of his canopy courses. And we're going to go through it. I know I haven't even talked to you about this yet, Stephen, but he's going to send some invites for you and Carrie and I so that we can go through one of these, and then we'll talk about it in more detail on the show after we've kind of experienced it. But I think super cool idea.
Cool.